So how Robyn went from making 3K a month, working 40 hours, 50 hours a week, to now making $8,000 to $10,000 a month in 52 days, working 30 hours a week. Well, welcome in, Robyn. Happy to have you here. How's it been
Yeah.
so far?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. It's been life-changing, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I remember you remember the first sales call that we were in. You're with me. You're like extremely like scared and I guess like this is my last dollars. And I was like, if it's your last dollar, still do it, you know. I was like kind of pushing you away, but you're like, I need to do this. And I did even like hardcore objection handling. Like you're like, okay, I'll just do it, you know. You remember that time?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
What was going on in your mind when you were on a sales call with me, you know?
Gosh, I think, one of the things was I had been in your free class for a while and I knew the value that you could bring to my life, right? To my career. And I knew I needed to make a change, right? I had already went in all into sales. I left my corporate job at the beginning of the year, but I wasn't hitting the income that I wanted. I knew I needed someone like you to help me get there, to build my confidence, to make me feel like, okay, I can do this. And there was no reason to objection handle me because I knew coming into that this was what I needed to do.
Yeah, you were extremely fearful. I was like, if that's your last dollar, you don't do it. You know, just keep doing what you're doing
Yeah.
right now. And then you're like, no, Jude, I gotta do it. And then you're like, Jude, I don't know what you did to me, but I have to do it. You know, I was like, I didn't do anything. You know, and then you just paid me
Yeah.
off. That's how it happened. I remember that. I mean, what
Mm.
was going on your calls? So before working with me, like, what type of objections were you getting?
Yeah, I mean, I was getting like a lot of like, I need to think about it. I need to talk to my husband or my wife or, a lot of just the standard objections because I wasn't calling people out, right? Like I wasn't having those hard conversations. I was afraid, right? A lot of people pleaser personality and tendencies. So definitely it was a lot of think about it. I need to think about it. And I would just let them get away with it.
How did the mind bender method help you out though? Because I was like, one point I was like, oh, girl, you gotta really kind of toughen up here right now. You gotta really kind of show that show that tough love to these people. But you were such a nice girl, nice person. And I was like, okay, we got some work to do. And then in 52 days, you hit 10K. And I was like, okay, wow, that's cool, you know? I guess, how did the mind bender method help you out in terms of your personality or how to display yourself in the call?
Yeah, I mean, June, to be honest, I mean, I think, I mean, you hear it all the time, put yourself in the right room with the right people. Your confidence and the way that you trained us of like one of the questions that I remember you talking to us about was, why are you tolerating 3K months? Why are you tolerating that? And I remember feeling like, why am I tolerating that? I know what to do, right? Why am I so scared? Right? I don't ever have to see these people again. So let me just say it. Right. And I think it was more so working on this inner dialogue, right? That you kind of tapped into of like, Robyn, like you said, you got to toughen up a little bit. You need to not be so afraid, right, of failure. Because I
Yeah.
mean, you're already failing. So go for it. You know what I mean? So you really helped me kind of tap into that inner confidence in myself that I can do this, right? I can be someone who can ask those hard questions.
100% because I I never take life too seriously. And I told you, hey, Rob, you're already fucking up. Fuck up a bit more. You know, it's not a
Yeah.
problem. You know. Also, what I told you was, I think I kind of future paced you a little bit while I was coaching you. Was like, Robyn, imagine a life where you don't have to confine yourself or limit yourself or please other people. Imagine a life where you're just unapologetic about what you want and how you're gonna achieve it. I always say that if you want to go get it, easier said than done. But like, imagine a life where you just like don't have that limiter. I think that's what the breaking point was. We were doing that one-on-one call. And I was like, hey, imagine you live that life where you're just extremely unapologetic and just like go for it, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how's life looking like, you know, with not only just the income but just personal life.
Yeah, no, my husband, um, we talked about this, that, my husband wasn't always supportive of my sales journey.
Yeah.
But I have been able to give our family more opportunity, but also the confidence that I have exuded. It's changed just my life in general. Sales has changed my life, but this confidence that I've learned from you and being a part of this, group of people, it's transpired into the way that I teach my daughter and the confidence that I feel in my relationship and the confidence I feel speaking to people out in the world. It's not just affected, yes, the pocketbook, the money is great, but the confidence that I've developed through all of this has
Yeah.
been transformative, to be honest.
how dare a male try to be unsupportive with what a female tries to achieve, Like
Yeah.
what a fucked up world. Yeah.
And it wasn't ever that he wasn't supportive. It was just, it was fear, right? I mean, it's the fear of the unknown, the fear of what if this doesn't work? But um, I might have been scared, but I am stubborn. So I was going to make it work in spite
Yeah.
of whatever he said or whatever he did. And now he is so supportive. You know, if
Yeah.
I have a call or if I have a meeting, he's the first one to step up and take our daughter to get ice cream or go do this because he knows
Yeah, go.
mom's in there
Mommy's taking
making
care of like go.
money. Yeah.
Yeah, go make some money. Go get on the call.
Yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, yeah. He knows that, he finally gets to see the seriousness of what I do. And I'm taking more serious from people in my life, and that feels good.
yeah. And what's going on in your calls recently with adopting the mind bender method and everything, like bending people's mind, right? Identity selling, covert influence, right? Advanced
Yeah.
psychology. I talk about reading people's mind up like inside and out. Like, how did that help you? Like, what's going on in your calls recently?
Yeah. I think I had to do a lot of self-reflection, right? So now I can ask those questions of like, what if you don't do this? And what if you don't make these changes? And why are you tolerating this? And what happens 5 years from now, So I'm able to have those harder questions with people and be real honest. And not, it's not like I'm not following a script anymore. It's what I believe,
Yeah,
why are you tolerating this? And I can speak from conviction.
yeah,
And that's really something that you taught me how to do, of feeling the inner confidence and then it just having a conversation and
yeah,
helping people see, what they can do with their
yeah.
life.
Because I always it makes total sense because I gave you a word track, right? I gave you a decision tree, like the flow chart, and you were like memorizing. I told you to memorize it also, right? Because you always want to, I mean, it's always better to memorize a script than not to memorize a script. I always want to be prepared.
Yeah.
But I told you that there are 4 steps when it comes to improvement. Level one is like, oh, June, the script works. Yes, I mean the script. You work out harder, you eat less. It's supposed to work. Level two is, hey June, now I totally memorized the script. Like I know exactly what to say. Cool. I mean that's like the basics. That's the default, right? But the hardest
Mhm.
part is going from memorization to being present to the call. Level
Mhm.
three would be like, hey June, now I can fully listen to the person. I don't have to think about my next words. And level four is like, June, I can say whatever fuck I want to say in the call, right? But I know I'm following a framework and it just lands. I'm just fully fucking present. I mean, calls are like less than 20 minutes. Like
Yeah.
I can see that you sort of achieve like level three, level four over here, like being able to fully be present to the call, being able to listen to the person, right? And being able to decode it instead of like thinking about what words you need to say next, or am I asking you the correct question, second guessing yourself. You have that, you don't have the limiter anymore. It's just like asking you the question with full conviction. But I might be wrong.
Yeah. No, no, no. I don't know if I'm fully at 4, but 3, I would say that, I definitely feel more present in the call and able to be more relaxed because I know what I'm doing, right? I
Yeah.
feel the confidence. I know what to say. You throw something at me, I'm going to be able to maneuver it because I know how to, right?
Yeah.
With confidence. So level 4, that's kind of your level. I got to wait to get there. So
That was
it's
be
only
humble.
been, what, 70 days at this point. So give me a little bit more time to get there.
Yeah, for sure. And I remember you also invested in like some mentorships before, or maybe not. Did you actually? Yeah. Like,
I did.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
like a
I am.
female oriented mentorship.
I did.
You did that, but why wasn't that working though?
I think that was because it was very basic, right? It gave me a good foundation of what remote closing was, what the high ticket sales space was, but it wasn't at an advanced level. I mean, I learned a lot. I learned the foundation, right? But I knew I needed advanced training, right? I knew I needed someone that had done this and had fucking crushed it. You know what I mean? Like I knew someone that could mold me to be the killer that I wanted to be in sales. So I knew I needed advanced sales training, which is, I mean, I heard nothing but wonderful things from all the girls in the high ticket sales space I was around. And they're like, you've got to go to June. You've got to go to June. He's pretty intense sometimes, but you've got to go to June because he's going to really help you get out of that, become a, killer woman in sales.
Yeah. So far, it's funny because not to my own horn, but so far, all the females I brought in, they're all 100%. Like I have a 100% success ratio with all the females I brought in. Sorry with Sandy, with you now, right? Like Robyn, and Noelle, like Victoria, all these people, all these girls that came in, Sarah, they all came in. Sorry, getting offers like you didn't even have like a solid offer back then when you were working with me.
No, yeah,
No.
no. I mean, it was a wishy-washy offer at the point, and I was like, and I hated when you would say, Robyn, go apply for five jobs a day. I'd be like, oh my gosh, Jesus. But I mean, it worked,
Yeah.
it worked,
It,
so
it it works not because like it's not necessarily volume, even if you're applying 5 jobs a day, but if you're seen incompetent and if you're actually incompetent, no, it doesn't if you don't know how to sell at an advanced level and the
hmm
level that you should be selling, then getting a job, like good luck. You can apply for 60, 100 jobs, you'll only get on shitty offers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And to be honest, before I got on your training, I mean, I I almost gave up. Like, I mean, I completely almost gave up, and I knew I didn't want to give up,
Yeah.
So, and I knew I needed to do the work as hard as it was, as whatever I had going on in my life. I knew I needed to keep doing the work.
hmm And I mean, I want more students like you, obviously, right? That's why we're shooting this video. But like, how come you were able to achieve that level of success fairly quickly from like 3K to 10K in 52 days? How is that possible for you? What did you do?
Um, I needed a kick in the ass, and you gave me that kick in the ass, but I also think it also came from within myself. I mean, I that one-on-one conversation that we had, you said something about, who do you want your daughter to look at? And that, I don't know, that hit me like a ton of bricks. I remember looking at myself that day and saying, okay, do I want my daughter to look at a mom who quit, right? And who gave up and went back to working this 9 to 5 grind, or do I want her to look at a mom who's willing to bust her ass to go create the world, for her, So I think, I think it has to come within you. Like, I mean, I think you have to want this so bad that it hurts, and that it's hard. It's not easy, right? You have to want it more than anything, but also putting yourself in the right room with the right people is also very critical to the process.
Yeah. I think not to toot my own horn again, but it's like I think that's the reason why my program has very, very high success ratio because like you plan new identity and it's like scientifically proven, psychologically proven that if someone plans a new identity in themselves, like they would be congruent to the person, the actions and everything falls through. And
Yeah.
I mean, Robyn, like I said, if I gave you one thing, you'll just make 10 out of it. Not necessarily because I'm a great coach or anything. It's because you were able to just soak it in, but also operating from a place of like, okay, I don't have the luxury to give up. Like this is me. I'm gonna make this work once and for all. And I think that was the switch for you. So nothing much that I had to do. Like you just basically did everything. You took the whole framework and just like made it your own and just like go crushing.
Yeah. But I also think, June, that you showed me more. I think you said it perfectly, being congruent, right, with individuals. You showed me, you held me to a higher standard, and which I hold myself to a pretty high standard, but I wasn't holding myself to the standard that I truly wanted for myself. And you did that. It was, and I needed someone to say, hey, Robyn, you can do more with this, right? And allow yourself to do it. You know what I mean? And you gave me the space to be vulnerable, but also gave me the space to, give me the kick in the ass that I needed, So I appreciate you, and your coaching for really developing someone, because Robyn a year ago, I don't know who she is anymore.
Well, I don't know who this person I'm talking with right now. I still remember the first sales. I have photographic memory, and I still remember the first person I talked with.
Hmm.
But I mean, look at you right now. So,
Yeah.
for the people that are on the fence, those skeptical mofos, they like, is this guy legit, like, or it's like the mind bender method, like that's a little cheesy, or like being able to decode human beings, that is that even real? What have you got to say to those people, or what have you got to say to those people that have done sales training before and they're like, investing in sales training can't be can't be that good.
Yeah. What I would say to them was you didn't find the right coach, right? I mean, I think people can go and do all of these programs, right? But I think it's really important to find someone that's in line with who you are. June, he holds his students to a very high standard, right? And he wants you to be successful because your success is a reflection of his leadership. And so he really cares about, I mean, you care about our success. You care about what we do. I mean, I feel like I talked to you every day for a solid, 90 days. It felt like every day we were talking as a, collective here, but also on an individual basis. But I think that's what made the difference was that I could feel how much you cared about my success because you knew the goals that I had set for myself,
Mhm.
which I think there's a whole bunch of other training app programs that just don't really care about that, you know? They don't care that they just want you to show up, they want to take your money. But June, I know you care about your students. I know you care about their success and you want their families to be happy and them to be happy. And so
Yeah, yeah.
so that's the
I
standard.
guess I do care, but I do care about more about competency though. I'd rather be known as a competent coach than a caring coach. But if can't do both, why not? You know?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, and your skill is out there. Like, I mean, the way you maneuver and the way you teach in the framework, right? You need that, right? Always going back to the basics, but what happens after that? Being able to teach us all the ins and outs and the psychology side of things, that really helped me understand. I was always that kid that was like, why though? And you always made sure to tap into that why of why we do these things because that makes a difference. When you understand what you're doing, then it makes sense why you're saying what you're saying.
I hope your husband is enjoying the benefits of you making more money, but I hope he doesn't watch this call because like you're being a master manipulator, you know. You have the power of influence now to turn the switch
Yeah.
on and off and just like have people do whatever you suggest them to do, you know. So you became a
Yeah.
dangerous woman.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, I think he's enjoying this side of me. So,
Yeah,
um, he should have probably been in sales himself, to be honest. So now we're tit for tat. So it's been a good time.
sure. Yeah, bring it over, you know, bring him to the mind bender method. I'll just kick his ass as well and just like have him make more money. He might make more money than you know. You never know. But
I've talked to him about it for sure. He's a blue collar guy, so he works physical labor, but I don't know. He's got a silver tongue. We'll have to see.
we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, Robyn, thanks for taking the time, you know, with all these words of flattery. And then, guys, see you in the next one. Ciao.